know someone took their friends out and they just had an exceptional time. That's what brings us happiness. I still get those little butterflies in my stomach when I make what I consider the perfect pizza. I often go, that's gonna make somebody very happy. And that's kind of what makes me tick.
We purposely like to use the word hospitality over customer service. Getting to know your customers and who they are and what our businesses bring to their life is the coolest part of what we do.
I'm Aaron Buzbee.
I'm Michele Buzbee.
And we're the owners of Hive Hospitality. I was born and raised here, and then I moved away to college. Lived in Des Moines for almost a decade. Early on in my Des Moines residency, I met Michele.
I saw a cute boy sitting on the bench, and I did a lap around him and sat at the bench next to him, and it worked.
We thought we'd never leave Des Moines, and then I felt a calling to come back home and kind of be a part of entrepreneurism here in Marshalltown.
Nobody's sauce is as pretty as I do.
I'll give him that.
Our wheelhouse, our background is in hospitality and the service industry, and we saw an opportunity here that we didn't see in Des Moines. Our end game was to purchase Zeno's Pizza.
Zeno's was the first pizzeria to open in Marshalltown. Back in the 50s, pizza was still kind of a new thing to the whole country.
They started off with an incredible product. It's a very unique pizza.
It's had the same booths forever. People went on their first dates there. We hear those stories all the time. I love those.
Mm-hmm.
And they can sit in the same booth that they sat in 1978 when they went on a date.
We'd been in talks with the former owner, and he had been doing it so long, 52, 53 years. He was on board to sell it, and he wanted to retire, and so we kind of packed up our stuff, moved back to Marshalltown, and then things got a little complicated, and rightfully so, he got a little nervous about changing his life that way, and things didn't go to plan. But like a lot of things in life, you don't write your own script, and things were actually better for it. So we started the Fiddle. There really wasn't a craft beer bar in Marshalltown, and we loved going to neighborhood pubs in cities. When we lived in Des Moines, we had our own little neighborhood pub we'd go to after work or after school, and we thought, well, let's roll the dice and see if people of Marshalltown would like what we like. That was a startup. I'd read about how to do startups in college. You know, I did projects, but nothing compares to the real thing. The lessons we learned by starting Fiddle and Whistle were invaluable. We wouldn't have been able to do what we did so quickly, I guess, with Zeno's without that experience.
Pizza was our dream. That's what we really wanted to do. It took 3 years for the owners of Zeno's to actually say yes and mean it. The day that he invited us to Zeno's and said, I'm for real this time and I'm really not changing my mind again, that was a special day.
Pizza is such a special food. You have your own pizza. You're proud of your hometown pizzeria or your corner pizzeria. The memories you attach to a pizza house, it's unlike any other food. We're not doing Zeno's just for us. We're doing it because the community owns it. So we were sitting in Wayward Social. This was built in 1962, originally as Totem Bowl, and in 2016 it kind of hit the end of its rope, and the owners were wanting to sell and just kind of pass it along if possible. So we knew that our community was at risk of losing an amenity that likely wouldn't be replaced. At first we didn't really want it. We just didn't want it to go away. We started to scour the internet and find what other bowling alleys are doing that are not just surviving, but they're thriving. We saw a lot of cool ideas and a lot of cool places that we thought we could somewhat emulate and then kind of make our own. By the end of that time, we knew we'd be disappointed if it was to go away, because at that point we had a vision that we knew was going to be pretty cool, and we wanted to share it with the community.
We weren't bowlers before we bought a bowling alley.
Still not very good. So we ended up pulling the trigger in 2016.
Taking on a building That's 25,000 square feet and falling apart right there was a pretty big challenge. On top of creating a whole new experience inside. We have 20 lanes here, and when they're full of all different kinds of people, different backgrounds, diversity, Marshalltown is a very diverse community, and seeing everybody just having a good time, that is extremely satisfying.
We learned a lot, so if we ever were to do anything like this again, we'd probably be a whole lot better at it. But this wasn't in our 5-year plan either. And what else wasn't in our 5-year plan was the tornado in 2018, right in the heat of our project. On July 19th, 2018, Marshalltown got hit in the middle of the afternoon by an EF3 tornado with winds of 144 miles an hour. So the path of the tornado, our main street's on the north side of town, and the tornado ripped right through it. The city as a whole was, between commercial and residential, it was catastrophic. Our home was badly damaged.
When you think of a tornado, they always talk about the train sound, or you picture very gloomy, dark skies. It was really pretty sunny most of the day. It's unusual for us to both be home in the middle of the afternoon. That's when our business is open. That's when we're out and about. All of a sudden, we realized it's time to grab the pets and go to the basement. We had only taken a couple steps down when the tornado went right through our yard and had an oak tree fall on our house. Came in our kitchen and our dining room and den living room.
So a lot of businesses downtown were impacted. And 2 of our businesses on Main Street were hit. Our pub damage was pretty minor. Zeno's, on the other hand, was hit pretty hard. Almost blew our roof clean off. Our HVAC system was destroyed, and we were closed for 9 weeks. We opened the pub 4 days after the tornado. You could barely get to our doors because downtown was rubble in a lot of spots. But we knew that, first of all, everybody needed a drink. And also people needed to tell their stories.
Yeah.
And I remember the first day we were open, we were there most of the night, and there was tears and there was hugs, and everyone was talking about where they were and what their experiences were. And though it was painful to hear our customers and our neighbors and everybody talk about it, it was also therapeutic to know that we're not alone, and we all experienced it. And yeah, it was therapeutic. You know, it's almost been a year and nothing feels normal yet, especially us Northsiders, but each day we just strive for a little more normalcy. And I think in 5 to 6 years, I'm really hoping we look back and we'll have a stronger downtown and a lot stronger community bond from it.
Oh man, guys, thanks so much for coming. Hey, all right, cheers.
I'm extremely proud of what we've been able to accomplish, and we always knew we were young, but we didn't really stop and think about that when we started our adventure. The fact that we created it has a lot of value to us.
Going down, going down, going down below. All my intentions pave this road. If I had the money, honey, then I'd pay the rent. I ain't got the dollars nor the cents.
When you put all your blood, sweat, and tears into something, and when it's a destination kind of business and people show up, you get a really special feeling. Like people like us. They like what we did, and it's working.
Going down, going down, going down below.
You know, we don't really pause as often as we should and think about what, you know, the mountain we're climbing.
I'm not the kind of man that's got nowhere to go, so I won't waste.
We don't look
time.
back and see how far we've come,
Choose to waste mine.
but we often look ahead to the mountaintop.
Where I say that I'm fine, but you know that I'm lying. I'm alright.